Hello and welcome to Soccerlens TV. I'm Andy Brassel. We'll be rounding up the best of the weekend action in Europe as usual. We're going to start in Spain this weekend, where Real Madrid showed that there might be some life left in the Spanish title race. Of course, the gap between themselves and Barcelona is still at 5 points, but another impressive performance from El Real, winning 3-0 against Espanyol to follow up their 3-1 win at Deportivo La Coruña last weekend. Of course, such a landmark thing for them. It was the first time they'd won in A Coruña in over 15 years. And really, El Real have shown that they've not just got the players, as we always knew they had, but a real sense of spirit and direction. And this is something that reflects very well on their coach, Manuel Pellegrini. Of course, the other key thing is they did it without Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, in a survey in the Spanish football daily Marca yesterday, 90% of people believe that Esteban Granero, the unheralded midfielder, of course, they loaned out to Getafe for a couple of seasons and was very, very good there, and for the Spanish under-21 team. He's been playing on the right side of midfield with Cristiano Ronaldo being out, and he's been very, very good in the last couple of teams. Well, 90% of Marca leaders think he should stay in the team, even with Cristiano Ronaldo to come back after those 2 matches of suspension that he copped for his sending off against Malaga a couple of weeks ago. If we look at this tactical plan, that's right, the tactical plan's back. Real have been playing 4-4-2 for those last couple of games. The defence of Arbeloa, Sergio Ramos in the middle, with Pep being injured, of course, Albiol, Marcelo back at left back, and this is the key part really, the midfield. It's a diamond shape with Xabi Alonso sitting in front of the defence, Granero right, Guti left, and Kaká at the tip, with 2 up front, Benzema and Raúl. Now, of course, where this differs from earlier in the season is you had Xabi Alonso and Lassana Diarra both defending, 3 in front of those and just 1 up front. Now, this 4-man midfield is a huge, huge difference to Real Madrid. It gives them a great shape and far more dynamism than they had earlier in the season when they had that 4-2-3-1. It gives Kaká a lot more opportunity to express himself, and really importantly for a young player like Benzema, who has done a lot in the French League and the Champions League, so we know he's got good quality. He's still growing into his shoes as a Real Madrid player, and to have Raúl alongside him, I think makes an enormous difference to how he gets on. Of course, Granero on the right hand side gives them a lot of industry. Not saying that Cristiano Ronaldo can't do that, of course, but he's not someone who's going to grab the glory and the headlines, but someone who's a good passer of the ball, good steady footballer, and puts in a real shift for the team. And I think if we look further back as well into December, when possibly before these couple of games, the last really great Real Madrid performance and their best of the season up until that point, when they won 3-2 at Valencia, that they had the 2 sitters there, and it was a 4-2-3-1, but nevertheless it was again without Cristiano Ronaldo. And a lot of people over in Spain are asking, well, is there a better unity to the team? Is there a better shape to the team without Cristiano Ronaldo in it? Now, of course, you can't leave an £80 million footballer out of the team, so it's real crunch time when he's going to come back. But this question is going to keep on coming up, I think. A lot of people started initially asking it after the Almeria incident, where Ronaldo had his penalty saved and followed up by Benzema. He decided not to celebrate because he was so peaked at missing the penalty. And a lot of people started asking the question then, is this a guy who really plays for the team, something that's dogged Ronaldo in the past? A little unfairly, I feel, but nevertheless, if Real Madrid are to match Barcelona, are to catch them up, carrying on their current momentum, and the increasing good form that we're getting out of Kaká and Benzema is very, very important. So it's a big question for Pellegrini, that one. Now, they really could take advantage of Barcelona. Barcelona won again with a bit of trouble against Getafe at the weekend, 2-1, but they ended up with 9 men, of course. Gerard Piqué, their defensive rock for the last year or so, was sent off, as was the experienced Rafael Marquez. So they're going to have a bit of a problem when it comes to their away game at Atletico Madrid next week. They've also got Dani Alves injured, and Yaya Toure is injured as well, so he can't slot into the back four. Now this is the point where players like Maxwell, the Brazilian, and especially Dmitry Truginski, who was of course a much heralded €25 million signing from Shakhtar Donetsk, are really going to have to start showing their worth. Now Truginski has not won a lot of admirers since he's arrived at the Camp Nou, and already a lot of people feel he's really fighting for his Barcelona future. Well, this is the point of the season where Pep Guardiola is really going to need his full squad around him. It's a point where Barcelona are going to have to show their mettle as well as their style, and maybe Real Madrid can sneak in there and liven up the title race once again. Now, of course, the title race is going to be very lively in the English Premier League between Chelsea and Manchester United. Great end to a difficult week for Chelsea with that 2-0 win over Arsenal. Of course, we could go over the same themes again. Arsenal having lots of possession, not making the most of it, and hardly really making Peter Cech work. The hex that Didier Drogba has over Arsenal. But we're not going to dwell on that, or indeed the whole John Terry thing, which I think a lot of people have had their 2 pence on, or their 2 euro cents on. But looking forward to England and beyond the World Cup, of course, it was the Euro 2012 draw this weekend, and after a difficult week with the whole Terry affair, a real boost for Fabio Capello. Quite a clement draw with England facing Switzerland, Bulgaria, Wales, of course, which will be pretty exciting, and Montenegro. Capello didn't say this was an easy draw, of course, but he couldn't really have hoped for much better, of course, particularly in comparison to a lot of the other home nations who are facing some difficult tasks. But nevertheless, I think if there's to be any real excitement in this group, because let's be honest, England should win it quite comfortably, it's perhaps going to come from Montenegro. A really young footballing nation. It's less than 3 years since they're counted as a separate nation under official FIFA and UEFA regulations. So that they're really building a team and a legacy there, and we've seen how a lot of teams from the Balkan region have done that before. Of course, Croatia doing so well in the 1998 World Cup at first. Serbia did fantastically well, with the best defensive record in qualifying for the 2006 World Cup, even though they suffered a bit when they got to the actual final. Bosnia looking very good and playing some really exciting football with a lot of their fine young attacking players in the qualifying for Euro 2008, although unfortunately for them they didn't get through in the end. And now Montenegro, they've got a lot of good players, 25, 26 and under. Of course they have a captain, Marko Vucinic, who plays for Roma. A very, very fine striker and very versatile player. Simon Vukcevic, a wide midfield player who's very powerful and can score goals. Heavily linked with a move to the English Premier League, but still at Sporting in Portugal. And perhaps the best of all, Stevan Jovetic, who's made such an impression in the Champions League with Fiorentina this season. Had a super match against Sporting in the qualifying, and really gave Liverpool the run around and scored those 2 goals that beat them in Florence. So perhaps a few names for England to watch out for, and that can really light up the future of European football too. Well, thanks for joining us again. Of course, you can leave me questions here in the article underneath. You can get them to me at twitter.com/Andy Brassel if you like, and you can see what else I'm up to on my own webpage, www.allornothingtv.net. Plenty of football to enjoy this week. As always, big clash in the English Premier League between Arsenal and Liverpool. Perhaps it'll even be for 3rd place, with Liverpool making a bit of a resurgence of late. So I hope you enjoy all those, and we'll see you again next week.